Yo, what is up, folks? It's your boy Sports PSP in the building. Hope everyone's enjoying a fantastic Wednesday evening. Tonight's episode on Commanders Demand, I'm just going to give you my predictions as far as week 3 with the Buffalo Bills. So please stay tuned because Commanders Demand starts right now.
You're watching Commander's Demand with your host, Sports PSP, exclusively on the Grid Network.
Yo, folks, what is going on? It's your boy Sports PSP. Hope everyone is enjoying a fantastic Wednesday evening. Welcome to another episode of Commanders Demand, folks. Your boy Sports PSP is going to give you all news regarding the Washington Commanders. Hope everyone is enjoying a fantastic Wednesday evening. Commanders fans are so hyped up. They're so tuned in, and rightfully so, because we just came off from a great victory a week half a week ago against the Denver Broncos. 35-33, 2-0. First time we've been 2-0 to start the season since 2011. What better way to start off the season given all the given everything that has been surrounding the team. But as you all know, folks, the show must go on. And week 3, we have a very big opponent heading into our town, which happens to be the Buffalo Bills, a team that is in the discussion as far as coming out of the AFC this year. A team that is could actually make some noise because after all, they got a superstar quarterback in Josh Allen, who is considered a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, who still has tremendous potential. Discussion in the MVP. You know, he has one of the best wide receivers to throw the football to in Stephon Diggs. Very underrated running back in James Cook. You know, the offensive line and the defense, of course. So let's talk about the Commanders. The Bills versus Commanders game. Let's talk about it. Now, prior to the game, as we all know, folks, Buffalo is a 6.5 point favorite to win on Sunday. I mean, after all, despite the fact that Buffalo has been inconsistent, they're coming off a painful, devastating loss on Monday Night Football against the New York Jets. But in week 2, they rebounded in a win against the Las Vegas Raiders, 38-10. James Cook had 17 carries for 123 yards, and Josh Allen played very efficiently and played great with no turnovers. So, in order for the Commanders to pull off a victory heading into this game, and I will give my predictions, I will give my pick later. But in order for the Commanders to actually win this game against Buffalo, came up with a little strategy as far as what they should do. Sorry, folks. Can't see it from here. Technical difficulties. Yes. For the Commanders to win on Sunday, what type of Josh Allen are we going to have on Sunday? I'm going to get into that in just a second. Can the Commanders DBs contain the Bills wide receivers? Can the Commanders offense replicate what they did against Denver in week 2? So that is a big one there. So first, let's talk about Josh Allen. Josh Allen, as I mentioned, had a horrible performance in the season opener against the New York Jets on Monday Night Football on a nationally televised game. In that game, he threw 3 interceptions, all of them to the same dude in Whitehead, and he also had a lost fumble. The real reason why they lost that game, Buffalo lost that game against the New York Jets, mind you, that was without Aaron Rodgers for the most part, because in 4 plays, and unfortunately for Jets fans and for Aaron Rodgers, he ruptured his Achilles. and he's gone for the remainder of the season. But Josh Allen was the reason why they lost. And then last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, he played great football. He had 3 touchdown passes, no turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions. He played clean football. So what type of Josh Allen are we going to have on Sunday? Because since 2018, he has the most turnovers by a quarterback. That is with 84. He has 84 turnovers. Second on the list is Jared Goff. Third, Derek Carr. Fourth, Matt Ryan. Fifth, my dude, even because he goes to OU, Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen has led the NFL in turnovers since he was drafted back in 2018. Josh Allen's problem has been turnovers. Josh Allen's problem has been taking care of the football. And until Josh Allen works on that issue, I'm sorry. I don't see. I mean, Josh Allen, I think he's a very great quarterback, and he's been inconsistent. It depends on what type of performance are you going to get from him. What type of Josh Allen are we going to see? Now, if we have any chance of winning this game, our defense has to go after him in turnovers. We did what we did against Russell Wilson. I mean, if you looked at the game against the Denver Broncos, we went after him. We sacked him 7 times and we collected 14 QB hits. Our pass rushers, Montez Sweat and Chase Young, each had a sack and a half. Daron Payne also had a sack as well. In order to make life hell for Josh Allen, we have to go after him. We have to go after him, and we must make sure that he commits turnovers. That's the only way I see us winning the game. Period. Bottom line. End the story. So, what type of Josh Allen are we going to see? Are we going to see the Josh Allen like we saw last week against the Raiders? Are we going to see the Josh Allen like we saw in the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs, in which they were like a few seconds away from entering the AFC Championship game? Or are we going to see the Josh Allen that we saw against Cincinnati in the divisional round, or just like we saw from him in the Monday Night Football game against the Jets? Because he cannot take care of the football. He is inconsistent as it pertains to taking care of the football. So that's one right there. Also, another thing, can the Commanders DBs contain the Bills wide receivers? Now, we all know one of the elite receivers, top 5, unquestionably, Stephon Diggs, is going to play in that game. Also, a very underrated number 2 wide receiver in Gabe Davis. I got to be honest with you folks, even though we won the game last week against the Denver Broncos, I got to be very disappointed on our DBs. We gave up too many big, deep balls to Marvin Mims, to Brandon Johnson, to Hail Mary. Too many explosive plays. So if they have another chance into winning this one, we must limit the deep balls. And we all know Josh Allen has a phenomenal, strong cannon of an arm. He has the strongest arm in the NFL. And he's throwing the football to Stephon Diggs, who has great route running, who can make catches, who can do it all. So what do the Commanders need to do to limit that? So what is Emmanuel Forbes going to do? What are our other DBs and safeties must do to neutralize that? We gave up over 300 yards passing to Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. Imagine what's going to happen against the Buffalo Bills. We know what the defensive line represents. We know what they're capable of. They're going to do their best to go after Josh Allen. Another thing that we also have to factor into that game, How are we going to limit Josh Allen? Because how are we going to limit Josh Allen? Not only with the turnovers, his running. Because Josh Allen, not only he is a threat throwing the football, he is also a threat running the football because he's very athletic at 6'5", whatever he weighs, 240, 245, maybe 250. I mean, you look at him, he reminds you in a lot of ways like Cam Newton in terms of his running style, but he does run into a lot of contact. So I think for the Commanders, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put pressure on him. And look, we have the pass rushers to do it in Sweat and Chase Young. They had a great game last week against the Denver Broncos. And if they have any chance of going after Josh Allen, it's certainly them because their athleticism, they can match up. You have two athletic studs in Young and Sweat, freaks of nature. And in the interior, I mean, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, they can get after the Bills O line, and they can wreak havoc on that Bills O line. Our secondary is the biggest problem because if we give Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis any chance, if they find any crease or if we let them go deep, all hell's gonna break loose. The only way we actually have a chance of winning is that Josh Allen overthrows them. That's what we hope for. I mean, that's the only chance if you're the Commanders defense we have. Because the Bills wide receivers, it's going to be going up against the Commanders DBs going up against the Bills wide receivers. It's going to be hell, man. It is going to be hell. And it's going to be tough in order for us as Commanders fans to deal with. So, another expectation in this game. Can the Commanders offense replicate what they did last week in week 2? Sam Howell, and I've been very hard, very, very critical of Sam Howell. I know it's been 2 weeks, but I've said that the Commanders, they should do everything they can to tank the rest of the season to try to get Caleb Williams. And before I go on, I just want to give a quick shout out to Seven Hills Loft. Hail to the Commanders. Shout out, man. Appreciate the comment, man. I have been very critical on Sam Howell. The past 2 games in the regular season, he's been playing well. He was excellent last week against the Denver Broncos. I think it was 27 of 36, 299 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Clean, excellent football. The reason why we won that game, because we stepped up offensively. We did came back from an 18-point deficit. But the way that Sam Howell was playing and the way Brian Robinson was playing, because in order for us to win this game, you can't ask an awful lot from Sam Howell. You have to get the running game going. And Brian Robinson did. He had over 80 yards. He was running the ball effectively. He also had a couple of touchdown runs in that game. Unfortunately for the Commanders, we're gonna have to go without Logan Thomas. And God bless him. It doesn't look like he will play in this game against the Bills. I mean, because he suffered a really terrible injury in that game. So I don't see us having him back. But again, our tight ends, next man up. So I just don't see us having Logan Thomas for the game against the Buffalo Bills. Our matchup, I mean, Tre'Davious White against Terry McLaurin, because like I said, Terry McLaurin, he was going up against Patrick Surtain. Now you're going up against Tre'Davious White. So that's gonna be tough. But I still believe that Terry McLaurin is going to do what it takes. And like I said before, folks, if Terry McLaurin can't get it going, If he can't get it going, then we have Jahan Dotson as well. A very underrated number 2 wide receiver, playing his tail off. I think he's going to step up. I think he's going to do well for the Commanders. So I think the offense is going to do whatever it takes. All we have to do is do what we did last week. Simple. Just run the football effectively. When we need to throw the football, take our chances. We have to be very smart. We have to be very conservative. We have to be very smart with the football. We can't take dumb chances and then all of a sudden we're going to expect to come back and win the game. It's going to lead to turnovers. It's going to lead to mistakes. And the Bills' offense, they're going to capitalize and find a way to put points on the board. We can't have that. So I think for Eric Bieniemy, and to Eric Bieniemy's defense, he has been outstanding the past 2 games. I don't know if you noticed, folks, but within the past 2 games, the Commanders' offense, they've been doing so well on offense. They're averaging 27 and a half points a game. 27 and a half points a game this season. And I know it's just 2 games, but for a guy who thought that, you know what, he was a product of Andy Reid, who didn't think he was capable of being a head coach. People questioned about his leadership skills. People questioned about his interviews. Ron Rivera, he said that a few players within the Commanders, they were a little too concerned about Eric Bieniemy's intensity. I don't give a shit what Eric Bieniemy is doing. The bottom line is working. And if you look at Washington, they are 7th in the NFL in points per game in 27 and a half. The Kansas City Chiefs, the team that he was the offensive coordinator for, you know what they're averaging right now? With Andy Reid as the head coach, they're 22nd in points per game. And you know how many points they're averaging? They are averaging 18 and a half points per game. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, seems to me they don't look the same without Eric Bieniemy. And Eric Bieniemy is doing what he can. And like I said, folks, if Eric Bieniemy can take Sam Howell and if he can do whatever he can with this offense, make no mistake about it, Eric Bieniemy is going to get a head coaching job. And it better be with the Commanders. Because, like I said, Ron Rivera is not that dude. He is not that dude. And even though I like him as far as with his defensive pedigree, and I like him as far as his leadership skills, his play calling, his clock management is dumb as hell. Fortunately, and I've got a lot of friends who I talk to, they tell me, man, EB is that dude. He really is that dude. He finds a way with his play calling. He finds a way with his will, his leadership. He has what it takes to get the most out of players. And we're seeing what he is doing with Sam Howell. And it's very impressive so far. Eric Bieniemy has a chance, man. And Eric Bieniemy, I do see Washington. They're going to put up some points. I think it's going to be at least 20 to 23. I don't see them putting up 35 points against like they did last week against Denver. I don't see that because I think the Bills are obviously a better team than the Denver Broncos. And Sean McDermott is known for defense as well as Ron Rivera. So I think they're going to dial up some plays. But I think for Eric Bieniemy, like I said before, with the offense, you just have to take care of the football. Sam Howell's going to have to play smart, clean football. You're definitely going to have to rely on the running game. If Brian Robinson can give you the same type of performance like he had against Denver, I mean, he ran the ball. I mean, Washington collectively, they had 23 carries for 120 something yards, a couple of touchdowns. They averaged over 5 yards a carry, and the way they threw the football as well. That's going to win you a lot of games. When you throw the ball that effectively and when you run the ball effectively as well, you're going to win a lot of games. So I think if you're Washington, if you do that, you should be just fine. And it's at home. You have the fan base there. And also, folks, good luck trying to get into FedEx Field because I don't know if you noticed, it's been reported, it's out there. It's sold out. So, unless you already bought tickets, don't try to go to FedEx Field because it's sold out. You might as well spend your Sunday like me, drinking an Angry Orchard and watching the rest of the game. Stay your ass home. Because again, this is a big, big game right here. And this will be a big test for the Commanders because you're going up against the Buffalo Bills, a team that has a chance of coming out the AFC and competing for a Super Bowl with Josh Allen as a top 3 quarterback who's an MVP candidate and with that defense. So if the Commanders, this is a huge statement win for you. I mean, I don't know when's been the last time since y'all been 3-0. I got to go look that up. But if you win this one, wow. I mean, wow, right there. To win this one right here, to win against that team, that should tell you something. And it's also going to put Washington on the map. It's going to give more of a reason for people to spend their time watching the Commanders games. And hopefully it's going to help us get more notoriety and help us get nationally televised games. Matter of fact, the only nationally televised game that we have is Chicago. So this is a huge statement win for Washington. We got to win this one. So, our offense, we just got to run the football effectively. We got to pass the ball effectively. Eric Bieniemy, I think he's going to do his part as far as managing the game and coming up with creative ideas. Can't wait to see what he has in his bag. And on the defensive side, like I said, just get after Josh Allen. If there's any way Washington has any chance of winning this game, it all depends on Josh Allen's play. If Josh Allen commits turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, we have a chance. Because like he has led the NFL in turnovers. It depends on Josh Allen's play. Is he going to be consistent? Is he going to be inconsistent? If he's going to be inconsistent, and if he's going to replicate like he did in Monday night against the Jets, we have a chance of winning. Now, folks, it comes to my pick. Last week, I picked the Denver Broncos over the Washington Commanders. I think I picked it like 20-17, 23-20. I don't remember the exact score that I predicted. But either way, I predicted the Denver Broncos to win this one. As I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, Buffalo is a 6.5 point favorite to win this one. I got it, folks. Sorry, but I got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100. I do not see the Commanders going 3-0. I don't. Not because of history, not because of anything like that. I just think that the Buffalo Bills are a better team. I got Buffalo winning this one. I got Buffalo winning 29-17. 26-23. And hold on, I got a comment right here. Brandon, AK Arkansas 501, Washington Commanders going to the playoffs. Appreciate the comment, man, but playoffs, I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, right now, if you look at it, Washington could challenge the NFC East, but it looks like it's Dallas Cowboys division to lose. I said before the season that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the division. I have the Philadelphia Eagles finishing second. I got the Commanders at best case fourth. Right now, they're looking like they're the third best team within that division, even though the Giants came off a win against the Arizona Cardinals, but it's against the Arizona Cardinals. And tomorrow night, they got San Francisco. But back to my prediction. I think Buffalo is going to win this one because I think if any chance, it all comes down to Josh Allen's play. And I think if Josh Allen has a bad game, they're going to have to run the football with James Cook. Take some pressure off of Josh Allen, run the football with James Cook. And Washington, our defense, we got to stay prepared and we got to stay locked in. We can't allow James Cook to have a big game just in case if Josh Allen struggles. I want to contain both sides of the football field, the passing and the running game. If we do that, we have a very, very good chance to win. We know the fan base is going to be there. We know the crowd is going to be there. We know they're going to hype up the team. And who knows? There's going to be huge people in attendance that will actually show up. Heck, you never know. But the bottom line is I just think that the Buffalo Bills are just a better team. I think they're just too talented of a team. I think Washington is going to come back to earth. I do think that Sam Howell is still going to have some growing pains. I do think he's going to struggle. I still think he's going to play okay, but I do think he is going to struggle because it's going to be a lot of expectations for them to be 3-0, even though that the Bills are 6.5-point favorites to win this one. So that's how I look at it. And Brandon responded. He said, Buffalo going to lose. And I'm curious, man. I want to know why you think that Buffalo's going to lose. Do you think it's going to be because of Josh Allen's play? You think he's going to commit turnovers? You think he's going to commit mistakes? Like, what's your reason behind it? I mean, because you seem very convinced that Commanders are going to win this one. And folks, look, I don't like being negative about my team. I really don't. But I just got to call it for what it is. You know, Washington is a 6.5-point underdogs. And he responded just back right now. He said, Josh Allen, he's going to call Buffalo to lose that game due to turnovers. And yeah, like I said, since 2018, he's led the NFL in turnovers. You know, Josh Allen, like I said before, what type of performance are we going to get from him? Is he going to have a great performance like he had against the Raiders, or is it going to be the Monday Night Football game against the New York Jets? So what type of performance are we going to get from Josh Allen? Period. In the story. And even if Josh Allen has a bad or terrible performance, I still believe Buffalo is too good of a team to lose this one. If they lose this one and if the Commanders end up 3-0, I would be shocked. They'd be 3-0 this season, you know, and they're going to be a team that's going to be in the rise. And it's going to be a team that people are going to have to pay a lot more attention to. As a matter of fact, when I was watching First Take, I didn't really hear that much things about Washington. I mean, on First Take, I heard a lot of people, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, and Ryan, I think it was Ryan Clark or whoever. They talked about which comeback was more impressive. Was it the New York Giants' 21-point comeback against the Arizona Cardinals or Washington's 18-point comeback? Stephen A. picked Washington, but Shannon and Ryan Clark picked the Giants. Because, you know, the Giants, you know, they're in the NFC East division. I think it was primarily because of the fact that they play in New York And there was a lot more expectations for the Giants because, after all, they were coming off a playoff performance appearance. I'm sorry, and they won a playoff game. So maybe why. And just like I said, Josh Allen make too many mistakes. He do too much. Yeah, he does do too much though. He also does a lot too much when he runs the football and when he runs into contact, and which is why we're gonna have to do our part to figure out a way to contain him. But it's gonna be hard to contain him. But also James Cook. I mean, James Cook had a really good game against the Raiders defense. And look, the Commanders defense is not the Raiders defense. So I get that. I understand that. And then he also said Josh Allen going to do a lot of turnovers in the offense. And I think he meant the offensive line is going to miss some place up. If that's the case, though, that's going to be great for the Commanders because that's just going to put pressure and we're just going to find a way to penetrate on Josh Allen. So, but again, Brandon, we got to talk about the offense. We got to talk about the offensive side of the football. How do you feel Sam Howell is going to be? Sam Howell is coming off an excellent performance last week, as I mentioned, against Denver. And Brian Robinson did a great job running the football. And the other thing I'm also concerned about, and I didn't even mention this, I'm sorry, folks, Washington's offensive line. How is Washington's offensive line going to protect Sam Howell? The past couple of Sam Howell's been sacked like 10 times. And Washington, I mean, they allowed him to he was sacked 4 times in the game against Denver. He was sacked like 6 times against Arizona. So how are we going to protect Sam Howell? And then Brandon responded, Washington, yeah, no doubt they got a better defense than the Raiders, and they're not Oakland, they're Las Vegas. We know they're a better defense than the Raiders. We get that. But I think it also comes down to Sam Howell's performance too. Sam Howell has to get rid of the football quicker, but also the offensive line. That is still a major concern for me because if your offensive line can't protect the quarterback, and if the quarterback can't get rid of the football, how is it going to help the Commanders? So I think it's going to be very tight. It's going to be very competitive. But in the end, I just see Buffalo pulling off a win in this one. I just see it. That's how the way I see it. That's how the way I look at it. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be very hard for Washington to be 3-0. Yeah, they're 6.5-point underdogs. And yes, everyone is expecting Buffalo. A lot of people are expecting Buffalo to win this game. But again, if they win this one, this will be a really huge test for the Commanders. Really huge test for the Commanders. And you're going to have to put more attention to them. Not just with the NFC East, but dare I say the NFC? Because when you look at the NFC, it's like a free for all. I mean, we talk about Dallas, we talk about San Francisco, Philadelphia, we talk about Detroit, we talk about other teams. Should we have to consider that with Washington? I'm not going to go that far. But if they win this one against Buffalo, and very convincingly so, then I guess we may have to change and talk about Washington and view them in a different way. Hope that happens. I don't see that happening, but I hope it does. But like I said before, folks, we're almost at the end of the episode. But like I said for Washington, if they have any chance of winning this one, even though I have Buffalo winning 29-23, Sam Howell and the offense, they have to replicate the same type of performance they had last week against the Bills. Can they replicate what they did? Can they take care of the football? Can they run the ball effectively? Can they throw the ball effectively? Can the defense, Montez Sweat and Chase Young, can they get after Josh Allen? Sure, they can. Can our defensive line penetrate and put pressure on Josh Allen, make him play hero ball? And if he does that, then guess what? It's going to commit turnovers and it's going to give us opportunities and we're going to move the ball down the field. But what type of Josh Allen are we going to see? What type of Josh Allen are we going to see? That's the thing to me. So that's how I look at it, folks. So I got Buffalo win this one 29-23. But anyway, folks, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. It's your boy Sports PSP. You know where to find me. Please go like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as my IG Sports PSP, as well as TikTok Sports PSP3. Um, we're gonna come up with some more topics for the show, and also my boy Darian Hopkins. Also, go check him out, folks. He does a lot of live streams as well. He does a lot of great content. There's him, of course, Bryson, Barry, also our UFC guys. Go check out the Grid Network. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. We're doing a lot of great and big things, and it's only gonna get even better. More life, man. So anyway, folks, it's your boy Sports PSP. Hope everyone is enjoying a fantastic evening. Go check out for the post game reaction on Monday morning, 11 a.m. on the Grid Network. And hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And God bless.